Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's CJ. Welcome back, episode 40 of the Innovative Marine 75 EXT Reef build, also known as the Be Easy Reef for those that are new to the channel. And it's pretty wild to say we are 40 episodes in already. It feels like this tank just started a little while ago, but I mean, we definitely are over the 1.5 year mark at this point, and we've covered everything so far in this tank, from the building it out to the beginning stages, to some of the trials we ran through, some of the transitions the system has went through, and now we are transitioning from, trying to have a heavily SPS dominated system to more of a softy LPS mixed reef type of system. And so far, it's been going pretty damn well, guys. So we're going to cover that in this video. Also, some new additions and just overall thoughts as far as the progress that we're making, and maybe some of the things that I've found have worked better for this system. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the update. Let's get to it. So for those of you all that have been tapped into the channel, following the build, you're well aware of what is going on in this situation. For those that don't know, this is going to be a beautiful, splendid dotty back, awesome looking fish, but it turned out to be a hired hitter delivered to the Be Easy Reef, meaning I added him to, help the stock list as far as beauty. He ended up wiping out 6 or 7 of his tank mates, killed a couple of wrasses, killed some chromis, and pretty much just terrorized anything in the system up to the point that I couldn't add any other fish until I got this guy removed. So for those who follow me on Instagram, you got to watch it live, but it took me around 40 minutes to catch this guy, and he's currently in the sump until he finds his new home. That's right, I am still the undisputed multi-division fish tank fish catching champ. So we got that guy removed because we wanted to make some new additions to the Be Easy Reef. And by new additions, this is going to be some fish that I've never tried before my entire time in the hobby. These are going to be some lyre tail anthias. Now the whole goal of this was to add some mid-level open water swimming fish to kind of help fill out the scape. Now a lot of the fish I currently have, the wrasses and tangs and dwarf angels and all those things, kind of hang around the scape, and they're rarely kind of in the open water column visible at all times. So I'm hoping these guys will get it done. So for anyone that's new to the channel or new to the hobby, may be wondering what's going on in the bucket with the anthias. Well, I got these guys temperature acclimated first by floating the bags, and then we're going to drip acclimate them to ensure that salinity matches where they came from with the tank. So we got to make sure we bring them up slowly. These are some pretty expensive fish, and I didn't want to risk shocking them or stressing them out further, but also keeping in mind I didn't want any pH or ammonia spikes due to them shipping, so this wasn't too much of a process. I did get them added to the tank, and then roughly an hour later, these guys are already showing signs of being comfortable, lip locking, fighting, and hopefully these are future signs of a potential dominant male that will pop up out of this group of 5 females that I added to the Be Easy Reef. Now, as I said before, this is my first time ever keeping these fish, so I'm really excited to see the process of one of them morphing to a male and seeing how it turns out in the system. Besides that, the females are absolutely gorgeous. The coloration is really hard to really catch on camera. Can't describe it. I mean, they definitely stand out against all the corals in the background. Are definitely going to add color pop, almost to the point to where I'll enjoy watching the tank with whites on more than blues these days. Now, for those that are curious as far as quarantining fish, disease and all of those things, during the beginning stages of the Be Easy Reef, I did have a full quarantine observation tank, which I added a majority of the stock list through, a few weeks at a time. But unfortunately, I thought my stock list was done. I donated that system to a school, and since then we've had to kind of go the old-fashioned way of adding fish after acclimating and just throwing them in the system. Now, my only safety measure against that is going to be running a UV sterilizer. I do have a 25 watt Pentair UV sterilizer that has been running on the tank, and to this point I've been lucky. No massive fish wipeouts or epidemic events that have caused any fish losses. So this is probably the most successful tank I've had regarding adding livestock, and we're going to hope that that trend will continue. So just want to make sure I kind of share that for anyone that was curious, and then also sneak a top down in, since the lid was off the tank, and then we're gonna get the tank started and let's get a closer look at what's going on in the system. So let's get to it. I gotta tell you one thing worth mentioning. After removing that splendid dotty back, the overall behavior of all of the fish in the system completely changed. I really didn't realize how much that guy was pretty much taking dominion and terrorizing everyone in the system, to the point to where everyone was kind of stuck in their sides of the tank. But now, as you can see, everybody is kind of out and about swimming, enjoying the be easy life in the system. Now, I do have a little bickering here and there between the tanks, which is normal. They've been living together for over a year, but the antheists being in the system have not really had to deal with any additional stress or, fish directly attacking them, besides the occasional swipe of the flame angel or, the flame hawkfish kind of dive bombing them or something. But as you guys can see, adding a little food to the tank gets everyone rowdy, and you can really get a true idea of how beautiful all of these fish are. And we're not done yet, guys. I still have a wish list that we're going to complete, including replacing the green chorus wrasse that was killed. And then also, we're going to add an Australian stripey to the Be Easy Reef to help take care of the Aptasia outbreak in the system. Aptasia's been in here for a while, but it has suddenly had an explosion, and I'm thinking that explosion is also the same reason that I'm having such better success with the LPS in the system. Everything's fluffier, everything's happier, and just the overall system health looks better. Now, why does it look better? I have my assumptions, and that's all I can say at this point, but through the Neptune Trident's tracking, I've noticed that the parameters have been very stable as far as the nutrients and the alkalinity, calcium, magnesium. Everything's just pretty much been stable to the point to where I haven't really had to touch anything or do anything. And I've also avoided the biggest mistake of all, which is going to be adding something to the tank after things are looking so good, right? Thinking you can just make it better. I haven't done anything. I haven't dosed any bacteria, aminos, haven't dosed anything from a bottle, nothing at all. And what would you know? SPS are still alive in the Be Easy Reef. So if you're following the channel, I've had a hellacious time trying to keep SPS in the tank. And these guys have been in here for almost 2 weeks now, probably a little over 2 weeks, on the frag rack chilling. And I haven't seen anything or any signs of trouble with these frags. So kind of makes me wonder, maybe the new thought of having a system with LPS and softies and not touching anything may also be the key to SPS success. Who knows? I'm not, going to get too excited about it. As I told you guys before, I'll wave the white flag on the SPS. Those are like the pure last attempt of testers. But if those somehow teach me the valuable lesson of sometimes less in your reef tank is more, definitely a lesson that I will learn for sure and be happy to share with you all. Because for now, we're keeping things stable. We're keeping things, even and steady. And we're just kind of letting things do what they do. And so far, the results have been showing off to be successful. Now, I will tell you guys, one of the only bad parts of this transition that I've noticed is the lack of fluorescence and kind of the mixtures of colors being visible under blues. Either it's the corals in the tank, the light settings, or maybe the gel filter lens that just doesn't give the same pop that it used to, which is okay because during the daytime, it looks better than it ever has under daylight. So kind of makes you think, the kind of corals you have in your system definitely should dictate the type of lighting that you're going to run in your system, especially when it comes to when you want to observe your tank. If you're going to enjoy the tank more in the daylights, you may want to gear your system to where the ramp down or the ramp up for the blues to whites is around the time you're not home. So that way when you're home, you're enjoying the absolute best view of your tank. Now, with that being said, it's still a dope view, regardless of the lighting in the system. And as things fill in more, you really get different views from each side of the tank. The left side looks like a different system than the right side. The floating aquascape, it definitely adds a new feature and kind of uniqueness to the tank. And then, of course, the Be Easy peak with all the zoanthids and pallies and everything up there. It's definitely a very enjoyable tank to look at. And it's something that is hard to catch on camera, but in person, trust me, it's awesome. You know, the banana grill torch right there in the front, definitely a showpiece that I'm enjoying. And just overall, everything is, you know, doing pretty good. So for those that are curious, or if you're new to the hobby thinking you got to go SPS to have an enjoyable reef tank, I'm here to tell you, you know, my transition from going mainly SPS to a majority LPS and softy tank has been enjoyable so far. But who knows? You know, this is a forever evolving hobby and reef tank right in front of our eyes, right in front of my eyes and on YouTube. And I'm just going to keep documenting and kind of keep sharing the journey as we go. So what can we expect next in the Be Easy Reef? Well, for me, honestly, we're gonna have to deal with the Aptasia outbreak in the system. So once we get that handled, I think we'll have everything pretty much under control. Have algae issues under control, at least for the moment. The algae scrubber, skimmer, you know, all of those things are doing their jobs as far as nutrient export. So Aptasia under control, get the SPS corals mounted, and then add the last of the additions of the fish that I want. And then we're going to sit back and we're going to let things grow in and just kind of enjoy the good moments in the reef tank. Because trust me, the good moments don't always last forever. So when you have them, enjoy them, sit back, enjoy your hard work, you know, clean your glass a little bit more often, you know, look at the tank a little bit more often, and build up that positivity and that good tank karma, credit, whatever you want to call it. So that way, when the next hell breaks out in the system, you got the energy to deal with it. So for now, I'm just kind of checking in, giving you guys a look. And if you want more content, more frequent updates, or, you know, snapshots of the tank, stop by my Instagram at CJ's Aquariums. And for everyone who only follows me on YouTube, don't worry, we're going to keep pumping out these updates. Episode 40 should let you guys know that this is definitely going to be an ongoing series for the life of this tank. And we're going to keep on doing what we do, baby. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this random update on just catching up on new additions to the Be Easy Reef and just overall tank health and just the master plan, update, progress, whatever you want to call it. And it's time to get out of here. So as always, you guys can like, comment, subscribe. You guys keep doing what y'all do. Y'all be easy and happy reefing. Peace.